Hi, this is Shadi, and today it's gonna be Lethwei versus Judo, Japan and Myanmar, or the Burma. So this is something that is incredibly astonishing as an art, as history, and also as Nagewaza. So it is considered a sister art to something like Muay Lao and Muay Thai as well, but in my opinion far more hardcore. The bare knuckles and the headbutt, it is considered the art of 9 limbs including the head. So this time we're gonna see something that allows a little bit more than traditional Muay Thai, and also when it comes to the Nagewaza, we're gonna see that it allows a little bit more as well, something that we see in judo as well. So I figured that it's a great way to put these two head to head, because I believe that Lethwei is something that can be a good addition to someone that's very skilled in judo for either MMA purposes or self-defense, because the clinch and how they execute some of the common techniques of judo, in my opinion, it's a good way to get into the no-gi or the clinch when it comes to street self-defense or simply MMA. So in this video I'm gonna go through a little bit of history of Lethwei and also the shared or common Nagewaza between it and judo, and see the different approaches to the same techniques. So the first one is obviously gonna be the history. So briefly put, the history and the rules of Lethwei is that the first evidence of it dates back to the 2nd century BC during the Pyu Empire in Burma. So this is when it had its first appearance. The Burmese people or people in Myanmar constantly trained it alongside Naban, Banchai, arts that are not only also striking like Lethwei, but also geared towards grappling like Naban, and also Banchai, which is weaponry. So they were off to train and becoming the most complete fighter for wars, for inner turmoil, etc. Obviously their history is very much complex, so I'm not gonna get into the history of the entire nation, but mainly it is dating back to 2nd BCE compared to judo, which is incredibly recent if you want to compare it to Burmese arts, because 1882 is fairly recent. It is considered modern, not contemporary. Contemporary but not modern. So judo 1882 with Jigoro Kano, obviously the jiu-jitsu roots. I've talked about this multiple times. Now when it comes to the roots, it was basically just KOing someone and that was it. They also had what is called the injury rest, which is a 2-minute rest after someone got a lot injured, and they would rest them on the side. In 1996 they got rid of that. They added 3 judges, so you win by KO or judge's decision, to obviously make it safe, because we all know that Muay Thai, Muay Lao and Lethwei fighters, their lifespan in the sport is relatively very short because of the damage, especially with Lethwei, because of the headbutting and also the bare knuckles compared to other arts. So this is mainly the history and the rules. If any practitioner can clear something out, also feel free to do that. Now let's go to the throws or Nagewaza between judo and Lethwei. So here you see Le Duc doing some demonstrations. Here you see the Uranage, what we call the German suplex, also being done in competition, very much alive. Uranage, you don't see that in Muay Thai, you don't see that in Karate unless it's Kudo. So here we see it is one of the oldest throws of judo, being incorporated into Nage no Kata as a sutemiwaza or a sacrificing throw. You see it all the time with Greco-Roman wrestlers. Also you see it in MMA, so it is one of the staples. You see in Karate and Muay Thai you don't see it. You see a lot of catching the foot and sweeping or reaping the foot that is still standing. You would see that a lot, but when it comes to Lethwei, they are far more how do you say, easygoing when it comes to throwing, because they tend to clinch and then pick up and take someone down way more than you see in Muay Thai. So the other one is I was actually pretty surprised, and that is Te Guruma. So Te Guruma, you see here from the clinch, you see you can either defend, the other fighter was actually attacking, and then the other punched him, and you see lifted him up with Te Guruma, so, or Sukuinage, depending on which school you happen to belong to. So Sukuinage is a scooping throw in judo. This is the basic form of Sukuinage. You just pick up both legs, lift up and scoop up, and then throw backwards. It can be also like a high lift double leg. I talked about this recently. But the main form that was very prominent in competition, I really hope it comes back, was actually this one, the Te Guruma, where you have one hand controlling the upper body and the other scooping up and lifting the lower body, which really puts uke up and then slamming them down. Really demonstrates control, power, technique, all of the good elements that make a great grappler. And also you can see it in Lethwei, no gi needed, it can be done from the clinch. So combining judo and Lethwei would actually make you a very fierce fighter, in my opinion, both in MMA and on the streets. You can use all your 9 limbs, and also the clinching and some of the best and monumental takedowns of judo, like uranage, and here you see sukuinage. So also the bare knuckles is actually a great thing, because as Kron Gracie says, if there's no gloves in UFC, you wouldn't see these very big punches, because you just break your hand, and people are becoming very reckless with those punches. So having those wraps on your hands only will make you like very calculated, and at the same time you will have far more conditioned hands than someone that's relying on the gloves and shooting punches recklessly. So this is something, in my opinion, a plus for Lethwei fighters, and also the headbutts, but the concussions and the injuries are far more prominent with headbutting. So here you see the inner minor reap, Kochigari, also one of the best ashiwaza of judo. So here you see a combination of like the big monumental throws with an upward trajectory like uranage and sukuinage, and also you see the small, minimal but yet very effective throws like Kochigari, also finding its way into Muay Thai, Lethwei, Karate. So here we see like they have a mixture of both, unlike Muay Thai or Karate. I'm not talking about Kudo, I'm talking about strictly Karate, where they just catch the kicking leg and then reap or sweep the other one. So that's also a plus to Lethwei, in my opinion. They have a mixture of both low amplitude throws and upward in trajectory and monumental throwing. So this is, in my opinion, a great art, very much underrated, overshadowed by Muay Thai and its popularity, but Lethwei should not be, how do you say, undiscussed, maybe, I don't know. So it's a great art, I'm a big fan. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Also, don't forget to check out Josh Simon's shop in the description below for historical t-shirts and also historical articles on the pillars of PJJ. So like I said, if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Also, consider supporting me on Patreon. This was Shadi, and thank you